I welcome all the students of class 12 to yet another video lesson. Dear students, before announcing the title of the poem that we are going to study today, I want to ask you, why should we perform yoga? The girl in this picture is doing yoga. You can find she is engaged in yoga asana. Then the question is, why should we do yoga? These days there is a rat race of competition, of outshining others, of going ahead. Some of us have become selfish. The fight is not only among people but also among nations. All of us want to outshine others. So we lose our peace of mind. We don't have harmony. So Pablo Neruda, through this poem, advocates the need of peace of mind, self introspection, and the very need to judge ourselves whether we are going on the right track or not. The title of the poem is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Keeping quiet, that means to keep calm, to be still. Why? Why should we be still? Because we need to introspect ourselves. We must think whether we are going on the right path, we are walking for the humanity or against the humanity. This is about the poet Pablo Neruda, born July 12, 1904 and died September 23, 1973, wrote in a variety of styles as erotically charged love poems, historical epics, and political manifestos. In 1971, he got a Nobel Prize for Literature. His poems are very beautiful and full of easily understood images. Colombian novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez once called him the greatest poet of the 20th century in any language. Neruda always wrote in green ink. He wrote in green ink as it was the color of hope. See, this poem that we are going to study today also ends in an optimistic note. He always has the theme of hope in his poems. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Now, we will count up to 12 and we will all keep still for once on the face of the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Second stanza. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We should all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not hum whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Now we will count up to 12 and we will all keep still. The first two lines, the poet says about counting up to 12. Why should we count up to 12? See, to be engaged in introspection or meditation, one must have calm of mind. So, to get away from our agitated or angry mood, there is a therapy to count the numbers. So, to make ourselves ready for the introspection, for the meditation, we should count up to 12 and then be engaged in introspection. For once on the face of the earth, let us not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Here you can see the person is doing yoga asana. For once on the face of the earth, let us not speak in any language. Here these two lines are universal in the sense that he doesn't say about any specific language, but he says, let us not speak in any language. Why he says not to speak in any language? One thing is that it is for one and all. Okay, not to a particular nation or a particular human race, but for all. And secondly, nowadays people use language for destructive purposes, not creative ones. Nowadays, your ill language breeds hatred. That's why he says, let us not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. He says here, let's not move our arms so much. Why does the poet want not to move our arms so much? Because, see, in the recent days, we find that people use their arms for destruction or for other negative things. So, for some time, for 1 second, let's not move our arms. To be engaged in introspection or meditation, you should not move your arms or you should not move your lips. So he wants that we should not move our arms so much. Let us not do anything with our arms. It would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. It would be an exotic moment when all will be engaged in introspection. Then there will be peace all over. Peace, this peaceful moment, this peaceful environment will be exotic. Exotic means unusual or unique, or we can say foreign. That such a moment which was never witnessed earlier. See, in the picture you will find rust. Okay, but the above picture you'll find calm. Okay, there is what when all will be engaged in introspection. There will be no rush. There will be no noise of engines. This peaceful or this unusual moment will actually bind us together, will unite us together. The peaceful atmosphere will envelop us together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. See, uh, this says about harming the environment. Fishermen exploit the ecology of the sea. Sea and whales are fish and whales are killed. And in the same manner, man gathering salt, he's very much selfish to get more and more profit. Don't care he doesn't care about himself. Okay, so if all of us are engaged in introspection, then the fishermen will also not go to the cold sea to kill the whales. So the ecology, there will be what benefit to the ecology of the sea, and the man gathering salt will also get some time to relax. He will at least get some time to see his hurt hands. He has hurt his hand in gathering salt. These two lines, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hand, symbolizes or refers to the greedy nature of mankind to get more and more. We even do not think about ourselves. So if we are engaged in introspection, at least we'll get time to think about ourselves, how much we have hurt ourselves. All of us will realize. Now let's do some group discussion. Why has the poet opted a particular number 12 for his counting? There are two reasons. One is, I already said, there is a therapy, or to get away from your agitated or angry mood, you need to count numbers. And secondly, in the watch, you find that all the three hands of the wall, or watch or clock, they get united when they reach 12. When they reach 12. So this also symbolizes unity. Okay, you can explain the answer in your own words. Now question number 2, why does poet refer the moment as exotic? Because if all are engaged in introspection, there will be peace all over. Peace will surround us, and such a moment would be exotic or unusual or unique, never witnessed earlier. Why has the poet begin the word earth with capital E? This we will find in the last stanza. Uh, Here E, earth. Okay, for earth he uses the capital letter E, because E here gives a note of optimism. Next, what does fisherman not humming well refer? This refers simply to the what uh, not harming the ecology of the sea, not to deteriorate the ecology of the sea. And next question, what is the man gathering salt looking at his hurt hands refer? This refers that selfish or greedy persons get time to think about themselves, uh, how much they have become selfish, and what they have lost. What does not moving our arms so much refer? I already said that man moves nowadays. Man moves his arm more for destructive purposes rather than creative ones. So, not move our arms so much means not moving our arms against humanity. Here, let us match the following words with their meaning. Exotic. I already explained. What will be the answer? Exotic. It will be an exotic moment. It will be an unusual moment when there will be peace, when there will be peace all over. Sudden. Sudden here, at once. Strange. Can anyone? Yes. Strange. What will be there? Strange will be, here again, it will be unusual or gathering. It is collecting. Hurt. Hurt means injured. Okay, I think it is clear to you now. Now, home assignment for you. You have to make beautiful sentences with the words given below. Exotic, sudden, strangeness, gathering, gathering, hurt. This is the poem. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brother in the sad doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with that. If we were not so single minded about keeping our life moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with that. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. Those who prepare green wars or war with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the sad doing nothing. Here, various kinds of wars are mentioned. Green wars. This indicates wars against the environment, and wars with gas or wars with fire means some chemical wars or with some destructive weapons. So those who prepare wars means war managers. They may be some scientists, politicians. Okay, uh, those who prepare war actually they do not get any time to relax because their minds are always busy in planning for war. But when they will be engaged in introspection, then they will realize their mistake. They will realize that such victory at the cost of blood is not real victory. What's the celebration where there is no survivor left to celebrate it? So, after introspection, uh, they will realize their mistake. They will put on clean clothes. This means they will leave their old ways and they will come to new path and walk about with their brothers, means walk with their with what other humans, okay, as brothers in the sad doing nothing. They will just relax because now they will get time to relax their mind, which earlier they had not, because earlier they only what their minds were only busy in thinking and planning for war. Okay, what I want should not be confused with inactivity. Pablo Nerida here makes it very clear that he says about introspection and that should not be associated with inactivity. Life is what it is about. Here it says that life means walking, going ahead. Life doesn't mean means halt or a complete vacuum. Okay, life means to live and go ahead. I want no truck with that. Here he says that, here he makes it very clear that he's not a supporter of that. He's not a pessimist. Uh, he says that life is action and life means going ahead, walking ahead. Okay, life should not be compared with death. He's not supporter of death. What he says should not be associated with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping ourselves moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. See, uh, if we are not so narrow minded, okay, if we are not so narrow minded about, we must not be narrow minded. If we are narrow minded, we won't be able to realize uh, that silence will give us new energy to work for the humanity. So we must be determined. Okay, we must make our minds determined to make our lives moving. Okay, and to make our minds determined, silence for some moment, okay, may interrupt, may take away all the sadness that we are suffering from. because of this sadness, one person is unable to understand the other. One nation doesn't understand the other nation. One race doesn't understand another race. But when we all will witness peace through introspection, then we will develop understanding among ourselves. And here, these last lines are full of optimism. So this poem ends in a pessimistic note. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. See, during the winter, we find that earth is almost still, as if it is dead. Okay, it has no activeness. But again, with the emergence of the spring, we find rejuvenation in the earth. New birds, new flowers, greenery all over. The earth now seems to be alive again. So, this is also in the case of introspection. Maybe during the time of introspection, we are still, we are silent. But after the introspection, we will get a new energy. Uh, we will be more energetic. We'll gather necessary potential to face every situation. Now I will count up to 12. You keep quiet and I will go. Here he wants everyone to go for introspection. Dear children, here the poet says that we must learn from the Mother Earth the lesson of determination, optimism. Okay, so our introspection and our meditation will help us to rejuvenate ourselves. Okay, uh, we will our life will start afresh and we will get new energy so that this energy could be used for the welfare of the humanity and mankind as a whole. That's all for today's video lesson. I hope you have understood the poem very well. And if at all you have any doubt, you send your doubts to my WhatsApp number and wait for another part of this video lesson on keeping quiet. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead.